I think you can be pro-white and be funny. I think you can be racist and be funny. I think you can be sexist and be funny. I think you can be anti-Semitic and be funny. And they certainly can be anti-white and be funny. They made Santa Inc. and a lot of people got butthurt about it, but it's just jokes. If they can make jokes, we can make jokes. Hey guys, it's John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Sunday, May 19th, 2024. And I've got some good art to show you guys today. This is what I was working on a little bit and some other stuff. I showed this one yesterday. I just did some really light inks on it. Got a whole comic book here I want to talk about called Desdemona. It's about a little girl who gets released from a mental institution by some doctors who are probably crazier than the patients. Here's a colored one I did a while back for Ashley Fox. I think I might have shown that before. Here's a drawing of Ash that ended up looking like Stacey Dash. I don't know if you guys remember her. She was in movies like Major Pain. She had a really unique look. Here's a guy, character design for some storyboarding project I worked on for a friend's short film out here. These guys were afterlife chasers, and this was like a demon character that they were up against. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a Valkyrie Ashley Fox. So a lot of this is just old stuff. The stuff I've been working on today, I did some work on a, where is that? I might show that tomorrow. Here's Odin on Sleipnir. This is pretty good. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about today, and I'm really struggling with how far I want to go with this channel. I had a good friend tell me that these are markers. I was doing some work with markers. They didn't all turn out very well. There's a couple here I'm actually not even going to show you. I was really proud of this guy's pants. South of the Shield looked really good. Here's an old beta I bought. Oh, here's a couple pine trees in blue. These were for an owl that I'm about to show you guys. Here's a couple more that I did for these were like studies. I discovered that doing studies for a final really helps a lot, because a big part of what art is crushing a shape down into recognizable form that may not even actually relate to the photo reference. You're kind of cartooning everything all the time. At least that's what I'm doing. Like here's a beta I wasn't going to show. BetaBot, he was a skateboarder. Because the name rhymed. It's kind of cool to say. Here's another failure with markers. Just does not look right. Here's Sleipnir with markers, at least his front half. It just does not look right. This one looked okay. Here's Odin with a battle axe. I think the axe is kind of messed up the bottom half, but you know, it was good. Here's a little crush. So the reason I'm going through and showing off all of this, her eyes are so wrong. They don't fit her mouth. Here's Valkyrie Ash. So this is all to promote Alpha Channel comics and books, and I've got over a day's worth of audiobooks here, science fiction audiobooks that you can listen to here on the channel. And please, feel free. There will be links here at the end. If you stick around to the end, there will be links. But if you don't want to stick around that long, you can just click on the channel name and go directly to the page, or go into the description and go to ashleyfox.ninja, where all this stuff is. So this character, this guy's really cool, and I really liked him. Yeah, he's a character. Here's an angry Ashley. I'm just blowing through this right now. I'm not holding these up with super long time to show them, because you could hit pause. You know that, and I know that. And I've discovered, so I've taken out the logo at the beginning. I've heard that first second's really important. This is a crazy picture. This just looks wrong on so many levels. I don't know if I was just completely drunk that night. Here's a weird Billy the Kid. It's like a lesbian Billy the Kid. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks hilarious. So yeah, okay. So I'm done with this for a minute. And there is some stuff I want to talk about. I have opened up some controversial can of worms on this channel by saying what I want to do. By saying I want to make Alpha Channel the most toxic, masculine. Look, I think you can be pro-white and be funny. I think you can be racist and be funny. I think you can be sexist and be funny. I think you can be anti-Semitic and be funny. And they certainly can be anti-white and be funny. They made Santa Inc. And a lot of people got butthurt about it, but it's just jokes. If they can make jokes, we can make jokes. And if you're going to cancel me for making jokes, I haven't even made any jokes yet. All I've done is threaten to make jokes. And people are all butthurt. All I've done, I haven't even threatened, I've promised. Jokes are a promise. It's about being entertaining. It's about being fun. It's about not taking yourself too seriously. You guys are more than welcome to make fun of me. I'm an idiot. I am the live hand grenade in my life. I heard that line in a TV show with Donald Logue, and he was a cop, and just there's so much stuff that's so great about this world with people being as they are. Don't try and change them and make everyone the same. If you try and destroy culture to make everyone equal, no one's going to be happy. Pretty girls, you should let them be pretty. Ultimately, I do want to say this. I think all of this race nonsense is about you're jealous of pretty people. I think you're jealous of pretty white girls, and no one cares about anybody else, and you're really scared of guys like me. You're really scared of guys like me who aren't afraid to talk shit, and I'm not afraid of getting canceled. There's nothing you can do to me. My best friends have told me never to mention their names because they're too afraid of you. You're tyrants, and everyone is scared of you, Jews. You did this to yourselves, you Zionists. You took over everyone's civilization, and now everyone's afraid to talk about you. There's nothing in this world that I want that I can buy with money. Everything I want has to be earned. So there's nothing you can threaten me with and nothing you can bribe me with. And and I have nothing to lose. I just have everything to gain. So there's a lot of people out there who bought the lie that you're selling, and you're selling a lie. You're selling a lie to people, and you're threatening them to keep their mouths shut about the lie. Excuse me. I might cut that burp out. Maybe I won't. But you know it, and they know it. And you guys should check out Michael Sarion at unslaved.com. I've learned a lot watching that guy. He's genius. He spent a lot of time looking into the history of Western civilization and how it came about, and all the Talmudic nonsense that says all civilization came from the Middle East. That's not true. This is all bullshit. We don't owe you Jews anything, and I'm tired of it. You got to leave. You got to go away. You got to stop being who you are. If you want all of us to be the same, then you got to stop being ethnically, elitist and locked out. No one else is like you. You guys are ruining this for everybody. You're literally ruining the world for everybody. You are. And you're going to blame me for calling you out for it. So why am I willfully toxic, racist, sexist, bigoted, prejudiced, and anti-Semitic? Because obviously everyone else is too. And it's okay for them to be that as long as it's anti-white or as long as they're a minority. But I'm the white male is the one who has to kneel before everyone. I'm not kneeling for anybody. I'm never going to apologize. I'm not sorry. I don't care. So the emperor is a Jew. He's a naked Jew, and he's selfish and greedy, and he's a tyrant. And I'm not going to, What is interesting about all this is I cannot name an enemy. I cannot put a first name basis to anyone that I would call an enemy, my enemy. Like all the people running my government whose names I can't name, I know them. I know the people in the state of California who are pushing legislation that I find repulsive and everything. But they don't know me, and they've certainly never done anything to offend me, so I can't call them my enemy. Even though they would call me an enemy on sight, I can't name an enemy. There is no man alive. Well, there's maybe one, but even he wouldn't name me as an enemy, and I can't name him as an enemy. I hate him for something he's done, But that's a whole different issue, and only very few people on this who watch this would know what I'm talking about. So you want to have your cake and eat it too, and I'm here to tell you that the cake is a lie. And if you eat cake, you're going to be a fat fuck, and the cake is going to make you sick and give you diabetes. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be a white person in a Jew-run society and be safe. And Jews can't be safe in a white-run society either, because they're criminal and they're constantly poisoning the well. So we can't live together. You need to get out. You need to get out of my society, and I need to get out of yours. It's that simple. All the other problems come from you guys. And I'm the only one here who's going to name it. So your group, your religious ethnic group, the chosen people who are lying and cheating God, are causing problems for the rest of humanity, and I'm willing to say it. So unless you can be like a starving man at a feast, you're not ready to enter heaven. And by that I mean a starving man who can control himself and not eat at a feast where all the food is free. And that's where I'm at. I am a starving man in the land of plenty, but there's nothing you can bribe me with. There's nothing you want. How can you bribe me to be better at this? You can't. You can't make me better. You can't make me a better skater. You can't make me a better martial artist. I almost wore my Dallas Institute shirt. That's a different story for another time. I do want to tell some stories. There's one story I want to tell. I wanted to start with a story, so I think I might do a little switcheroo where you see this part get cut to the beginning. And this is the story I want to tell. So this is the story I want to tell for Sunday, May 19th, 2024. And this is a story about in the Marine Corps when I was with First Fleet Service Group, I think is the name of it. MSSG 13, and that stood for Marine Service Support Group 13. We were out here stationed on Camp Pendleton 22 area, and we were doing we were meeting up for the 13th MEU Marine Expeditionary Unit, which was going to follow the 15th MEU on a Westpac. This is in the 90s. And we were going to go out for a 6-month float. It's called a float, where a whole fleet of ships go out and blah, blah, blah. And so we're doing some training to lead up to that. Mostly our trainings were for evacuations. What we were constantly trained for was how to evacuate civilians from a hostile area. And so, moving a whole bunch of people from one area to another, triaging people, looking to see if people have injuries, how to deal with, foreigners and blah, 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 how to be cool under stress. And basically we just had to go through the motions so that everyone had to use the equipment and get familiar with it. But part of what we did, obviously is combat training too. So we're doing patrols, we're doing night patrols, we're doing skirmishes back and forth between other units. And a big part of it was we were linked up with the 1-9 who were in Camp Lejeune, and they had taken ships from the East Coast around to the West Coast, and they were going to do a Marine amphibious landing out in Del Mar, which is where you bring in LCACs. LCACs are the ships like in World War II with the front thing that goes down like a drawbridge and everyone runs out onto the shore. And you can drive vehicles out of them now. And they're really big. They're big. It's a lot different than they looked in World War II, where it's really narrow, like the size of a couple couches or whatever. Now they have big ones. And so they're still not huge, but they're bigger. And so they're going to drive these up onto the sand. Camp Pendleton is 50 miles of beachfront property, probably more than that, maybe even 70 miles from the southern tip to the northern tip, and then it's probably 50 miles inland too. It's this big square area of California between Los Angeles and San Diego, about halfway. And so they pull in, they beach their ships in the afternoon, and we are all, because we're doing our versions of military combat training. During the day, we're out reconning, watching them come in and trying not to be noticed. And of course, we were at a place too where they could see where we were camped, but it was pretty far enough away that they couldn't get to us and we could see them out on the shore and blah, blah, blah. And so we're going to have a night raid where they're coming inland. We're about 2 miles inland, about a mile and a half inland. Man, probably 2 miles inland. And they're out at the shore. And so as it starts to get dark, we're all excited. We're all kids, right? This is the most fun we've ever had. We're literally playing G.I. Joe. We've got our M4s. This is we had M16A2s, but this is an M4 with a sniper stock and a shorter handguard. These were the full 21-inch handguards and everything. And so me and our squad, we were out carrying our rifles, and they had these big compensator things on them that you screw into the top so you can fire blanks and whatnot. So as it's getting sunset, I am so excited about this. It's like the most fun I've ever had as a kid. And I was only probably 18 or 19, maybe 20. And so we're gonna have, and the incoming infantry unit is 1-9 from Camp Lejeune, the Walking Dead. They were named the Walking Dead because in Vietnam, they took so many casualties that only like 1 in 10 guys survived. And they were actually disbanded after Vietnam because they took so many casualties. And then in the 90s, they were spun up again, and then they were disbanded again, and then I think they were spun up again for the Iraq War. I'm sure I don't know if the 1-9 is still an operating Marine Corps unit, 1st of the 9th, 1st Battalion, 9th Marines. So I don't know. Maybe it's got to be 1st of the 9th. But they're not the Air Cav in Apocalypse Now. That's a different unit. So we are the defense and they're the offense. And defense is a great position to be, but you have to wait for them to come to you. And it's still early, and me and my squad got assigned to a recon patrol, and our chief warrant officer and the staff sergeant led us out near the shore to recon to see when they're coming in, right? And they were going to set up in this back area, and I wanted to go right to it. Let's get to it. So me and Corporal Wolf, out of the whole squad, that we're supposed to be walkie-talking back to the base and reporting on how their approach is going. We have night vision, but we don't need it yet. And you can't use them because the batteries only last so long. And you got to be really careful with night vision, at least in the 9s, because there's a little bit of a lag, especially if you start running. The ground moves after you step, so it's I'm sure it hasn't changed. There's still a lag compared to real feeling. There's no way it's real time. That can't be. Maybe it is, but I doubt it. So me and Wolf get to go out on our own. We are advanced recon from the reconnaissance squad, and we know where they are. We know all the paths. I mean, we're kids, and this is our forest, right? Like, we know every path. We know every dirt trail. We know where everything goes. We know all the little cool spots to hide. And between us and the shore is a big rise of earth that has gullies cut through it, rivers, and there's the 5 freeway going south. So we're on the eastern side of the 5, and they're on the western side of the 5. We have to cross over. There's a couple, like I said, gullies. There's some underpasses, like, canyons where rivers flow, where the 5 is built up over on the overpass, right? There's a couple of those we have to go under, and before too long, we're getting closer and closer. It's more wilderness now on the sides. It was a asphalt dirt road. Some of it is paved but it's still like nature trail paved roads, because basically Camp Pendleton is all forest preserve. So even what's paved is paved like, a paved road in a summer holiday village neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's very like thin layer of asphalt, not very wide. But there's still, grass off to the sides, and this must have been spring because it was really heavily overgrown. It must have been. And, as Wolf and I are walking down the road, and I knew this in my head. I knew exactly what I was doing. I'm going to tell you guys this story. And as soon as I came up with the plan, me and Wolf, I'm like, dude, this is what we're doing. We're going in. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, just come with me. And we're walking down the road, and we started to be able to hear, because I knew the advanced reconnaissance squads were setting up ambushes just like we were, waiting for guys like me and Wolf. But what we didn't do, because I was just a Lance Corporal. He was a little bit older than me. He was way buffer and bigger than me. And I was like, dude, just walk like we're part of the crew. Just walk. And we're all wearing Marine Corps uniforms. And so we just breathed down the street like we're returning my thought, my energy that I'm putting off is I'm returning 1-9, coming back to report. The same way as I would be with my squad. So I know that these guys, the sniper guys, are doing their little bit where they're in the bush and they're watching me and they don't want to give themselves away. But if they don't stop me, that means as I get deeper and deeper in, it's going to seem like I've already been halted and approved to continue. And so then I start seeing guys who are openly getting into hasty ambushes. They're not worried about me. I'm like nodding to guys, and Wolf's like, we're already accepted. We're already inside 1-9's perimeter. And they don't think that we're the enemy at all. And so I knew exactly what I was fucking doing, dude. I knew exactly what I was fucking doing. And when I got to the part where they were really kind of the big underpass for the 5, it must have been, there were some canyons and blah, 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 because this part, they had like their Humvees out, they were cooking dinner, all the guys are everywhere, there's officers, and I walked directly up to a colonel, a major, and 2 captains who have all their maps spread out across the hood of a Humvee, and I've got so this had a sling on it, and again, this was like just a M16, not a full-on, not an M4, so it was a full-on M16, is a lot bigger, and I'm holding it like, carrying it like this. And one of the things, when you've got your sling on, you can spin the weapon out like that and have it ready in just a second, just a quick second. And so as I'm walking, me and Wolf walk directly to the officers. I walk up to them, I salute. Good evening, gentlemen. They're like, what do you want, Lance Corporal? Look, I'm from MSSG-13. I'm just here to tell you, I don't want to unsling my rifle and be disrespectful. I'm just here to tell all you guys that you're dead. And they're like, one, I think it was a major or captain, stepped forward and he said, you better get the hell out of here before you get your ass kicked, son. I saluted. So yes, sir. Me and Wolf walk off. People are now looking around because like all the conversations stop. No one just walks the fuck up to the officers and starts talking shit like that. But once it was clear that I wasn't from that group, and Wolf wasn't either, dude, I walked out so fucking tall, my head held high, we were laughing our asses off, we just breezed right back out past all the hasty ambushes, all the snipers in their spots, and then word started to trickle back and fucking hearing louder voices and footsteps behind us. We start trucking, running and shit. Wolf had a M249. All I had was the M16, but he had the M249. So we got back to this little wooden bridge and he's firing off shots and shit. We had the compensators on, but it's blanks. And by then, the sun had fully gone down. By the time I got there, it was pretty much dark. But by the time we got back, it was pitch black. Fucking awesome. It was so much fun. Like my little brother Daniel saw action in Iraq and like shootouts and stuff. He was in the army. He went through Ranger school. I don't think he was assigned to a Ranger unit, but he saw a lot of nonsense. I never had to. I only, they shot at us in Somalia, but we never got to return fire. So I wasn't there for Black Hawk Down. We were on our way back home when that happened. But getting to do that, where and you know what? That has worked for me so much in life. That's what I've always done. Go right the fuck to the center. Go right to the source. Be undeniable. Just show up and be at the right place at the right time. And then whatever else happens. It's not about you after that. So also, guys, it occurred to me that I didn't really finish my little story. So I hope I'm in focus. I'm going to do this as fast as I can. But after a couple days after, so news got back to my whole crew that what we'd done, what Wolf and I had done when we walked into the camp of the 1st Battalion 9th Marines and told them that they were dead, told their officers that they were dead. Word got back to my unit, and one of the guys in my squad gave me the nickname Combat. It didn't stick, but I was honored. And then later when we got out of the field and we were back in the rear where we're usually stationed, our home unit, I was called into the colonel's office. Not first thing, it was late in the day on Monday, but it was Monday after came back out of the field on a Friday, I believe, had the weekend, and then Monday we were back at the basic, offices, whatever. And so I had to go up to the HQ and, salute into the colonel's office, the first first sergeant was there and the XO was there, and they asked me what I had done, and I told them the same little story I told you guys, not without a little bit of pride. And they were very impressed, and they smiled, and they laughed, and they said, "Good work, Lance Corporal. Thank you. You can return to your unit." And what can anyone give you when you've done something like that? Now, granted, I didn't have to go to war, so I think that would have changed my personality quite a bit. I'm already a psychopathic asshole. I think if I had been to war, I may have already committed suicide. I know a lot of guys have. I know a lot of guys saw and did a lot of things that they didn't like, and now they find out why they did them and who they did them for and how disgusted they are with themselves. So as a veteran, I and Uncle Adolf Hitler have a lot in common. We know everything about you guys, and we're not having it. So we're going to do this peacefully this time. There's not going to be any wars. It's going to be done with comic books. I'm going to lose some friends. I lost a friend yesterday who told me that they can't be associated with me. So... But you know what? I think in the long run, you guys are going to find out that what I'm saying comes from a place of honesty, not from a place of hate. And it's going to be very hard to tell me that the things that these people I'm calling out are being done from a place of love and not from a place of hate. Jerry Sue, science fiction fantasy. Wildwood Tarot, we'll do one of these today. I do have some more nonsense I want to talk about the Tyrants. Who are currently destroying my civilization, but that can wait for a couple minutes. I love showing this off. I love this art right here. And we're going to do another card today. Here we go. Wildwood Tarot card number 3, I believe. Let's see what it is. Today it is, oh, I can't even read this. This is card number 14, the Balance. Isn't that sick? And it is this, so this is the Caduceus, the 2 serpents around the pillar. This tarot deck is so cool. The art in here is awesome. Oh, I also want to recommend again Quentin Hoover as probably one of the best artists to have ever lived, next to J. Scott Campbell. God, J. Scott Campbell is so good. Quentin Hoover did a bunch of art for Magic the Gathering. You can find his stuff on Google under Magic the Gathering or Quentin Hoover. And he was incredible. Sadly, he's no longer with us. But yeah, that art is stuff you should check out. And now I'm going to get back to our previously scheduled programming, complaining about the Jews. And the fact that they're tyrants in my country. Black and red ninja. Isn't that the best colors for a ninja book, a hardcover? 1,000 Years of Shadow Warriors. I think this is the guy. No, this is John Mann. He's not the guy who did the Ninja Bible. I've got that. I'm going to show that in a couple days. It's here somewhere. So what else do I want to talk about? Work is freedom. Be harder, be undeniable, grow stronger, do the work, take back your culture. Alpha Channel has one massive goal, to go hard. Work is freedom. The man who's enlightened in the morning can die with peace in the evening. So yeah, die laughing, work as hard as you can. Daily karma. Every day is a new opportunity. You got to earn it. And the harder you work every day, the sounder you're going to sleep. I mean, the whole Klaus Schwab thing, the Davos guy who said, own nothing and be happy. That's not really quite right. It's be happy regardless of what you own. What you own isn't, if you look for what you own to make you happy, you're basically a small hat. Money does not make happiness. It never has. The love of money is the root of all evil. A lot of people say money is the root of all evil. That's not true. I appreciate money. I am working for money. So money is the proof of good decision-making ability, but it does not make you happy. Happiness comes from being who you are. And again, there's nothing I could buy. The only thing I could buy with money is other artists' time. And I would use it to let them do what they want. And that's not yeah, that's basically I would back their campaigns. And then I don't know even what, like, I don't know. I don't know. Your mission is to destroy the world. My mission is to make good art and to make people laugh at you and to make people laugh. Today I was drawing my 1911. Her name is Kimber. It's a Jewish-owned company, but it wasn't a Jewish-created company. And it wasn't a Jewish-owned company when I bought it, I believe, or I don't know. But anyhow, I know you guys want to own everything, and it's frustrating, and I don't like complaining about you. I don't have any of you that well, maybe, yeah, there's some politicians in this state who are, here's the big thing. This is the problem that you have. You are in control right now, and I am a rebel, and rebellion does not discriminate. I rebelled against the white people when they were the tyrants in the 80s and the 90s, but now it's obvious that it's you. And it's obvious too that you had your hand up their ass and that they were your puppets at that point. You've always been the tyrants, and I've always been a rebel, so fuck the Jews. I'm all for rebellion. Jews rule the world and they don't rule me. And yeah, I'm an ambitious spectator right now. I'm a spectator. I'm doing bullshit. I'm a comic book fucking illustrator, and I'm not even working on a real comic book. The only thing I've done is write a couple audiobooks that no one listens to. They're novels too, but no one read them either. So yeah, cake is a lie. The emperor's a naked Jew. I'm willfully toxic. There's nothing you can do. You can't bribe me. There's nothing you can do to stop me. This is what I'm gonna do. So yeah, die laughing. I'm laughing at you. You know what? That's not fair. That's not right. I don't want to be all angry in this, but it's very hard to reach people I like. It's very hard because I know that they're going through the same thing. I'm watching it. I'm watching. Everyone is afraid to say what I'm saying. And the people who aren't afraid to say it, Eric Stryker, Warren Ballow, Jesse Dunstan, a.k.a. Sven, Mike Enoch, a.k.a. Painovich, McNabb, what's fucking McNabb's first name? I haven't listened to TRS in a while. So there's some guys who aren't afraid, but how many guys can do it on YouTube? How long until you shut me out of the Swift network? I suppose I'd have to be making money. I suppose I'd have to be Kanye West, right? You're not the only problem, but you're easily the biggest problem. Magnus Hirschfeld. God, I hate doing this. It's so hard to talk about good stuff. You see what else I can find in here. I'm gonna keep going until I find a way to end this on a positive note. Ashley with a bloody sword on college ruled paper. Oh, here's something cool. Check this out. I went to school with a couple really gifted guys. This is the work of Talent Caldwell. I was lucky enough to go to school with him, and he asked me to scan and print this for him one night, and I was lucky enough to print a copy for myself to look at and study. Guy's a genius. He works at DC, I think, now. He designed a couple of the really good Superman costumes. I think it was the New 52 Superman costume. This is a guy named Roel, and this was included in the Poison Elves book. I don't know if this guy's ever drawn a comic. I've never found his art anywhere else. From what I understand, Drew Hayes was sitting next to him at a convention, and I have a character. I have a character based on this drawing named Clune the Elf, and he's a wandering murder hobo like Conan. And I have some awesome stories written. And if I can ever get my art up to that level, I'm gonna really do some. They're gonna be so much fun. So this is actually the cut-out page from the comic, as you can see, Poison Elves. And then I scanned it and blew it up, and I have a whole bunch of them, and I just found them today. So this is ending on a better note, right? I don't have to complain about my enemies. Here's a cool one. This is a cool cartoon. I like this. This could stand some rendering and be cleaned up, and you know. I want to show off this again. This is my owl. I saw this happen. It was me and a friend were out smoking a joint on his balcony one night. He had a balcony up behind his house out here in the Hollywood Hills. I was staying in the carriage house, which is the little apartment above the garage. And then above that, if you went further up the hill, there's and he was next door to the guy who created Knight Rider. I lived there when I was going to animation school. There was a little balcony, and we were up there, and there's a bunch of these pine trees out there. Those pine trees I showed earlier were a study for these. And a owl came down out of the sky, and it grabbed the top of this pine tree, and it, like, huge wings, like, and it bent the top of the pine tree, and it sat there on it. It was bent like like it was right out of Dr. Seuss or Disney, Tim Burton. Just like this, just like that. He held the top of that thing, and he just sat right up there, and he was huge. You watch, he was looking right at us, like we had some food for him or something, but we didn't. And so yeah, living out here in California has been amazing. I'm super happy. I'm glad I don't have an enemy. What I have is a challenge. This is what I can say. This is a good. I'm glad I did this tonight. So now I can refer to you guys as a challenge, not an enemy. Ben Shapiro, you're not my enemy. You're just a challenge. You're an obstacle. You're a roadblock, and I'm gonna run over you. Oh, check out. Here's a Bruce Lee. It's bad Bruce Lee, but it's Bruce. Here's the Invisible Man. See? Anyone can have a sense of humor. Oh, this is a study for Jeff, who is he's on like this actual cartoon is colored and finished on the ashleyfox.ninja comics tab, and you can see his interaction with his sister Ashley in that little exchange where he's pretending to be a sheriff, and he says she's an outlaw. Oh, here's a Jesus. Is this a Jesus? I don't know. Some kind of old man. Let me see if this is Bruce over here. I am doing this to put some distance between me and the anger that I exhibited in this stream earlier. I don't like doing that. I don't like being that. Oh, dude, Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. His name is Hambone in my, but this is when he's way older. In my little story, this is Jones when he's older too, when they're gangsters. In Legend of Ashley Fox, Hambone is the de facto leader of a gang called the Fist, the Iron Fist, and there's a bunch of other gangs in the orphanage where Ashley lives, and the people who run the orphanage are a gang of serial killers murdering the children a couple at a time. And the whole story is about how Ashley and the other kids in her orphanage fight back, the teenagers, against the serial killer administration. And the cops know about it, but they can't really do anything. Here's one of the serial killers. This is Morgenstern. He's like Lurch. Here's another one. So you guys should go check this out. This is here on YouTube as 13-hour audiobook, and Ashley is the main character. And these serial killers, these super evil serial killers, are hunting her and her childhood friends, other orphans, here in Los Angeles. This is Big Texas. He's a serial killer. So yeah, please go check out my stuff and tell me why I'm wrong. Go, please come on here and explain to me why I'm a jerk. Love you guys. Talk to you later.